Hello and welcome. This video is going to be an estate sale haul. Part 1 is already up if you want to go watch that first. And that would have been the second day of the estate sale, which is the first day I went. And then this haul is from the last day of the estate sale. And as the title suggests, yes, they did kick me out. I will get into that a little later, but let me go ahead and start showing you what I picked up. I am so blown away by the deal that I got at this estate sale on the last day. I filled up this giant military duffel for $50. So this bag and everything I got in it was $50 in total, and that is part of why I was like so weirded out that I got kicked out of this estate sale. So because I had gone to the estate sale the day before, I knew where all the clothes were. They had all of the clothes, well, they had 2/3 of the clothes set up outside where it was like a garage sale type of setup. They had a little shed back there, and the shed was absolutely full of tubs of clothes. Like, you would have thought that this person was a reseller, a clothing reseller, with the number of tubs in this person's shed, in addition to the fact that like they had a little cabana set up with clothes hung all on the sides of the cabana, and then they had two like little Z-racks set up with clothes as well. So I knew where the clothes were. Now this estate sale it was 45 degrees outside and it was raining, and so when I went out to the back, because that's where I made a beeline for, there was nobody outside. Nobody shopping, nobody at the estate sale running it, nobody's outside. I guess it was too cold for them and they just did not want to sit out there. So I was like, all right, no worries. I found this under the cabana and I was like, all right, at least I have something that's marginally waterproof that I can just stuff the clothes that I'm interested in this bag, and then I can take the bag in when it's full and be done. Well, I was able to find a couple of things in the cabana to resell. First thing I found was this little Coach purse. Here is the little, there it is. There's a little Coach thing. And it also has the Creed inside. This would have been like a little side camera bag. It's a brown leather, and see this little thing. This would have been like perfect for if you're traveling, you know, you have your passport here and then you'd have like your camera inside. That's kind of what it was for. It is a vintage Coach bag, so love finding that. I also found this 80s piece, which is absolutely glorious. This is denim and leather, which I can't think of anything more, you know, country than denim and leather. It's got all these stars with leather fringe and rhinestones, and then this side is just regular denim. It has a knot up top to tie together. The brand is Dove, I guess, because that is the only name on the hardware. So I don't know. It's clean inside. There is a stain on the little inside thing here, but this is a really good size shoulder bag, and I just thought that this was so cool. This is so country western and so vintage that I just had to pick this up as well. And so those are the 3 bags, and I did get a couple of dresses. Now, I have recently did a what sold video and showed you all that I made money off of vintage White Stag, which is a Walmart brand. I picked up 2 vintage No Boundaries dresses there from the 90s, and here's the vintage No Boundaries tag. And these are 2 maxi length dresses with the tie waist, so it's attached. And this is just peak 90s. You would have worn this with either a little white baby doll tee underneath of it and a choker if you wanted to wear it to school because, you know, dress code, and a pair of like chunky platforms. Or you would have worn it like to the beach and stuff over top your bathing suit. And this is just perfect. So I got this in blue, and I also got it in purple. So that one is rayon, and this purple one, because you know, purple people love purple. Absolutely gorgeous print, and this is 100% polyester. And this has more of a baby doll waist up here. So the other one has like a normal waist, but this one has the baby doll waist. And I saw these two. I saw the vintage tag and I was like, you know what? 90s are in. This is perfect. I will pick this up, especially considering I paid $50 for everything. Speaking of country western, like with that beautiful leather and denim bag, this is, I think, leopard print. This is silk. This is 100% silk. It does have shoulder pads, not that you can remove, it's actually inside. So all of this outside is 100% silk. It's a size large. The brand is Fuda International. And it's just, I saw this and I was like, I have to buy this. This is actually hanging up in the cabana. And so that was everything I found in the cabana, okay? And then I went into the shed and I started like going through the totes. I was pulling the totes down, opening them up, going in them, and then my bag was starting to get like full. I got my bag about 2/3 of the way full when this woman comes out with two dudes and she's like, what are you doing back here? Why are you here? And I was like, well, I was here yesterday and I knew the clothes were back here, so I figured I would just fill this bag up. Look, I'm almost done. I've got it 2/3 of the way full already. And then I was gonna go check out and then see if I could find another bag and then come back here and fill it up and do it again. And she's like, you can't be back here. Nobody's out here. You can't be back here. And I was like, but I filled up this bag. I want to buy all this stuff. And she's like, well, you can go inside and buy that, but you have to go. You can't be out here. This is not okay. And I was like, okay. And the reason why I was just so flabbergasted that they didn't want me to be back there, and one, because I was filling up a bag. There were clothes. This whole shed was full of tubs of clothes. And everything that they didn't sell today, that day that I was there, was gonna go in the dumpster. So as I show you more of these beautiful vintage clothes, I was so upset because I hadn't even scratched the surface in that shed of beautiful vintage clothing. And it all went in the dumpster. And I'm like, I'm willing to give you money for this stuff versus you're going to have to throw it all away and pay for someone to take that skip. A skip is a dumpster, if you didn't know. That's just the English, the British term for it. I just prefer it because it's easier to say. I know I've had that question before in my comments, but that's what it is. And I'm so upset because you guys know how much I love, part of the reason why I love selling vintage is I want it to find a new home. I want it to continue. It is living history. Our clothing, our fashion is living history. It's social history. And just to know that I scratched the surface and there was so much there for me to find and save, and they just kicked me out because nobody wanted to stand out there in the rain. And she didn't trust me enough to, you know, pay for my stuff. And I'm like, I already spent like $80 with you the day before. I'm gonna spend more money now. I just did not understand it. So I guess a moment of silence for the rest of those beautiful vintage pieces. And let's do on a happier note, show you what I was able to save. So this is a 90s color blocked. It's like a southwestern pattern. It's like a Fair Isle southwestern pattern. It very much looks like a representation of an eagle. When you see some indigenous peoples, the southwestern indigenous peoples, their symbols with representing an eagle or a bird or a hawk. This is beautiful teal windbreaker. This is a unisex size large, and it is slayed. And my washing machine is trying to take off. Give me 1 second, I'll be right back. Miss Moxie was sitting in my seat, so I had to pick her up. Also, so you guys can see her, she's here. She's just down below where you can't see her. All right, I have a couple of sweater vests because I have really good luck selling sweater vests. Again, Gen Z is wearing these more as tops and less as vests. But I saw this. This is another women's size large, and it's this really cute, muted, almost pastel blue, pink, and mint. And this is carriage cord, and this acrylic and 1% wool, and the rest is nylon. So I don't know. I just thought it was cute. And so I picked that up, and it's a size large. This is a size medium, and this is very cottagecore. Pink floral. It's got the scalloped edge here on the sleeve holes, and it has just this beautiful embroidery. This is more of like a mauve color. It has nothing on the back, but the vintage brand is Attitude, and I do look for Russ. This brand, this is one of my favorite vintage brands to pick up, because normally if I see a division of Russ or Russ, sometimes it's a bunch of R's or Rust Hogs, it's almost always going to be a really interesting vintage piece. So I saw this, I thought this was gorgeous. So in addition to that amazing silk jacket I found this leather skirt. It is leopard up at top, and then it is got some suede fringe and then a little bit sueded down at the bottom. But I thought this was absolutely amazing. This is definitely a wiggle skirt. There's a little bit of a slit here on the side, but you're still gonna be struggling to walk in this, or at least I would be. This is a vintage size 8. I would not think of this as a modern size 8. There's no way my butt is squeezing into this. So as per usual, I normally just put up the waist measurements and give all the measurements, and are like, hey, you may want to double check. I did have to condition the top part of the leather because it was very dry. And you can see there's a little bit of waviness here from it being a little stretched out because somebody was bootylicious. You can see a little bit of puffing back there, but I thought this was amazing, and it's 100% leather. And so to find a vintage leather and pay for as little, basically I paid roughly like $1.25 per piece, which is less than Ben's pricing. So this was awesome. So I had paper because I conditioned the leather, so I wanted to make sure the leather didn't like mess up anything else in this pile. I also found some vintage Victoria's Secret. This is the gold label. This is just a pair of floral polyester lounge pants. There's no pockets, which is sad, but it's kind of got like a drop crotch. So these were definitely just meant for schlumming around the house, but I thought those were really pretty. This is gorgeous. This actually was a 2-piece set, but the top the top has a big tear right here, so I'm gonna have to do something creative in order to find that a new home. I'm hoping that once I get some more of my Money Pile Mondays in, I'll have enough space to set up my embroidery machine, and that's where a lot of fixing is going to take place. So this is actually not a skirt. This is a pair of secret shorts. They are secret pants. And I love wearing stuff like this. Probably one of my favorite things to wear in the winter is this Yohei Yamamoto piece, and they are secret pants. And so having secret shorts I thought was amazing. This is Oleg Cassini, another vintage brand that normally has amazing patterns. And I thought this was awesome. And it had a matching shirt, like I said, but the matching shirt is going to just be sold separately, because I feel like someone would still want to buy this just because you could wear like a regular top or any of these colors and have a fun like spring summer outfit. This is really cool. So I have not seen this before. This is a Liz Claiborne piece. This is a vintage Liz Sport piece. And this has a bunch of nautical compasses on it. And that is because this is a sailing piece from Liz Sport. I was like, this is a medium, but it's a really large medium. And that is because this is a cover-up for when you're on the boat. So if you've been in the water for the day, you're supposed to put this on over top of it, and it kind of covers your butt. It's got this long thing that you could tie in the back if you'd like to, or if you want to like tie it up a little bit so that way you could like throw on a pair of shorts or something. But this is a long sailing swimwear cover-up. And I just thought this was really neat. It's supposed to be a little oversized. Again, it's just supposed to be like a flowy thing. So when you're on, like when you're moving on the water, it like blows back and then you can see your figure, that kind of deal. I just thought this was amazing. This required quite a bit of stain treating, but I was able to get most of the stains out of there. I think there is one faint one left, or maybe I got that one out too. No, I did get that one out. It's been a while since I've listed all of these, so that's why I'm like, did I get it out? I don't remember. I know I like worked on that for a while. I had to do it a couple washes before I finally got it out. Like I just mentioned, it did take me a while in order to list everything, and so I do actually have a couple of sales as well to share with you all. So the first thing I have to share with you guys is this vintage 90s simultaneous men's piece. This is like just a really cool 90s button front. It had a great abstract pattern. This is a loose baggy fit and it sold for $15. Again, I only paid $50 for everything here, so that's awesome. And the other piece that sold is this LL Bean Women's XL plaid shirt. It actually sold for my full asking price of $19.87, and of course the buyer paid for shipping. So I've already received half of my money back from this haul from just these two pieces selling. So this is going to be an amazing, I feel like this is going to be like a really great return on my investment. And that's part of the reason why I love going to estate sales and why I pick the estate sales that I do that are normally like overflowing with stuff, because that's when I've been able to find really good deals. So the next piece I'm going to show you is this Saturdays. Saturdays is a vintage men's brand, or at least all the clothing I found for them have been men's, and this is a teal. This gives me like, what is it, platypus? Wasn't there like Phineas and Ferb? This is giving me the kind of vibe. I think it's just because of the color. This is a really nice teal button front, and it's from the 90s. Oh my god, this is gorgeous. So this is new without tag. It still has the little hanging buttons, and this is a 100% linen JG hook blazer, and it's a crest blazer, which is so awesome. And it is a women's size 8. So this is from the 90s. This actually almost fits me, but again, the shoulders I can't really move around in. So that is just gonna have to find a new home. But the crest blazers, like if you find vintage Tommy Hilfiger crest blazers, those can do really well. The same thing with the vintage Ralph Lauren crest blazers. Those normally do really well. This is a women's shirt. This is size 16. There were all kinds of sizes at this place, which I thought was awesome, both men's and women's. So this is Allison Daly, and this is a size 16. And this is just a really funky print and a really great size. Finding larger sizes in vintage is difficult. It's rare for me. So when I'm able to find pieces like this, I think that's so awesome. This is, I think, 100% polyester. It is. But awesome 90s piece, really cool pattern. Another Liz Claiborne piece. This is from the 80s. It does have the little shoulder pads in them. I don't think you could cut them out if you wanted to, but I just didn't because I liked the way it looked on Karen when I styled it for it. It has this really interesting pleating in the front, and then it has the side bow collar and really beautiful balloon sleeves. So I just thought that this was a really neat piece. I also like selling vintage Liz Claiborne. I've had luck with it, but again, I normally style it, and also I normally only pick up like visually interesting pieces. Speaking of, I posted this on my Instagram when I listed it, but I just thought this is another 80s piece that has the shoulder pads on it. It has the banded bottom, but look at how cool this polo is. This is, well, it's actually a women's button front, but it buttons all the way down up until you get to the band, and then it's together. So it's like a polo and a button front at the same time. I don't know. It's funky. It's really cool. Here, I'll put it on so you guys can see it. I know you guys can see it in the picture over here, but you might as well see what it looks like on a body, because this does fit me, although I don't need any favors there in the shoulder department. It's just really cool. So like you could either pull this down and wear it like tucked into something, or if you are one of those girlies like crop stuff. I am not one of those girlies. You do not need to see my tummy. You could like use the banded bottom and pull it up so that way it has like this really cool crop look. Like this boxy fit crop look. It's such a cool piece. So I'm super glad. And it's such a great print. Like look at how beautiful this print is. It's just great colors. Again, I don't need any helps with the shoulders there. Like I'm about ready to play football. But if you have more sloped shoulders and aren't built like a linebacker like I am, this would probably be very lovely on you. I would probably wear it if it wasn't for the shoulder pads, but the shoulder pads are built in, so you can't really, well, I guess you could take them out if you wanted to, but I like the way it looked. Again, I like the way it looked on Karen, and so I hope somebody will give that a really good home. This is another men's piece. I thought this was really neat. So this I think is also from the 80s, like late 80s, early 90s. This is woven cotton. It's very much giving like those ponchos that you see people that like to enjoy Mary Jane wear. Or like the 90s skater look. Like that's what this material is. It's really neat. I've never seen a button down made out of this material. The brand is legal, and this is a men's size medium, but it's a 90s, so early 90s, late 80s medium, so it's a little more roomy. So I think this would probably also fit a modern large, but I thought this was really cool. It's a men's piece. We have a modern women's piece. This is Liz Claiborne. Again, I just really like the pattern here, and I sold similar comps for this exact same style, and this is, I believe, a 1X. This is paisley, but it's a floral paisley, so it's got the nice little filigree floral pattern and then also the paisley. I just thought this was really cool. I don't mind picking up Liz Claiborne that's modern, obviously, because I already sold a piece from this haul, if it's interesting and if I feel like it's something that will sell. And I actually like picking it up at the bins as well, because it is a brand that has a lot of people that like it and look for it and wear it. So I actually thought this 90s piece was going to sell before the other one, and it didn't, but this is another men's medium. The brand is Campus, and this is a great 90s print. Oh my goodness, I could totally see Will Smith wearing this in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It's absolutely glorious. It is a men's medium. I could probably wear it, but it's a little bit too big for me. This was a men's small. I'd probably keep it because I normally wear men's small because it works with my shoulders. So I really love this. I really hope somebody gives this a home. This is rayon, so I'm hoping that this will sell for the spring summer season. This is really cool. I am sad that this doesn't fit me. This is from the 70s. This is a skirt. Beautiful dark floral. The brand is Alice and Eric. Look at that great 70s logo. It is union made in the USA. This is the late 70s to mid 90s union tag. So I picked this as the late 70s based on this logo. And I just think this is beautiful. Again, it's a dark floral. It doesn't really have, it's a size 9-10, but that's a vintage size 9-10, which is really gonna be like a small, extra small. But again, I just list it by the waist measurement because it makes things easy. This piece is awesome. So this is from the men's store in Sears. This is a zip front polo, banded bottom polo, and it is gorgeously color blocked. It has a nice, it has this interesting teal knit it's color blocked with, and then there's a regular shirt, like a button down shirt material for the rest of it in white, and this is white and it has no stains, and that was exciting when I realized that. And I just thought that this is so cool. This is, when you think about, I'm hoping that these things will sell once the Barbie movie comes out, because this is very much giving me Ken vibes, right? This is Ken. This is very much Ken vibes. So that's what I'm hoping. And that's another thing, like, because the Barbie movie comes out, if you can put it as Barbiecore, put Barbiecore somewhere in your description, I promise you that will probably get sold. This is really cool. this is a brand, this is not Michael Kors, but the brand is Kors. And this is just super cute, super fun, super short, metallic pleated mini skirt. And the size is P, which just means small. It's got a lot of stretch in it. Whenever you have any vintage piece that has elastic, you need to do the test to hear. If you hear a scrunch sound, like a crunchy scrunch sound, that means that elastic is dead, and unfortunately it either needs to be replaced, you need to replace it before you sell it, or it has to be like the most amazing piece where someone will still buy it and then have it fixed by like a professional, or they'll be able to fix it themselves. But elastic's in great shape. Again, very swooshy, very cute, very cool. Hopefully someone will pick that up. It is really nice outside right now when I'm filming this, and as such, my neighbors are outside yelling at each other. So if you hear random voices yelling, that's what it is. So speaking of Barbiecore, this is super cute. This is a 60s little knit cape. Very cute. It looks really cute on the mannequin. There's just a little capelet. Like, can you imagine, like, my hair is obviously modern, so, but if you had like the little pillbox hat, like a Miss Maisel type vibe with like a really nice little Sunday dress and like a little pillbox hat, this would be so cute for spring. I can just see someone wearing this with like a church hat and like a really cute spring dress, but I love this. I think this is so cute. Hopefully someone will give it a new home. Also, it has this really neat textured knit pattern, so that's lovely. We have a women's ML, so it's medium large. This is a rayon piece. This is another beach cover up. It's really short, so I'm guessing it's supposed to be a beach cover up for like someone who's not 5'9". Like if you're, you know, 5'5" or shorter, this would probably be an absolutely super cute beach cover up, but because my butt is hanging out, it wouldn't really cover much up for me. I would have to wear a pair of shorts under it, so it would be a tunic that way. But that's what this is. It's a beach cover up. The brand is Greater Good. Shop where it matters. I don't know what that means, but this is just, that's what that's for. Another really cool vintage men's piece. The brand is Policy, and this is another size medium, but this is a long sleeve. Really neat, like sprinkles and stripes. But again, another really cool 90s piece. I'm guessing based on the clothing that the gentleman of the house passed away probably in the early 2000s, and then the lady of the house lived on for a couple, like 20 years after that, you know, like we do. So most of the men's clothing stopped like happening after the 90s, so that's sad, but had really cool style. Both of them had really cool style. This is 100% silk. This is also from the 90s. This is a men's size large. Really interesting piece. It has a bunch of clocks, and the only flaw that this has, it was stained, but I was able to get it out, is where there's distressing in the silk from where in the arm area here, this is where it got stretched. So I'm guessing like they were trying to reach for something and it stretched the fabric. So there's just like, you know how you get puckering, or you see puckering on like spandex clothing, like in the crotchal region? It somehow happened here in the back right here. But that's the only flaw here. Everything else is wonderful. Again, this is 100% silk. I just thought this pattern was really cool. And again, it's a baggy fit because it is from the 90s. This is like the 90s to 70s, because if you look at the spear point collar, that's what this was. I just thought that was really cool. Another really beautiful poncho. This is from the 70s. The other one was from the 60s. This one's from the 70s. This, I believe, is handmade. Look at it. It's so cute. It's so, first of all, it's super cozy. It's like a square type. So it's got a point here and then a point in the back, and then it's got a little tie here on the side for if your head is a little bit bigger than others. I just love, and the fringe. The fringe is perfect. Like this, I have long arms, so the fact that this is still giving me fun fringe, this is like so perfect. Like if you were a littler person, I would probably just be doing this the whole time. Because it's just fun. I'm sorry. But yeah, I love this. I think this is great. The lady of the house did an amazing job making that, and I'm glad. I really hope that someone gives it a new home, because that piece definitely deserves a new home. This is a really cool cardigan. This has some really awesome hand stitch embroidery. Well, is it stitched or is it knit? It's stitched. Okay, yeah. So it's like a really interesting pattern that's knit into it, and then it has additional embroidery stitched into it. But it has this really like dramatic collar, like this ruffle scalloped dramatic collar, and then I actually had to replace all of the buttons because it only had one sad little button here, but there were 3 buttonholes, so I just bought new buttons for it. And I'm okay with that because I got to keep the other button. I'm sure I will find something for that. The brand is Casual Corner, and you guys know I've talked about Casual Corner. It is a 90s / early 2000s brand. That is the only time it existed. So I thought that was awesome. And then, ooh, I forgot about this dress. This is this is one of the first dresses I listed because it's coming up on prom season. So I wanted to make sure this was listed. This is a gorgeous black, like maxi length dress, and the bottom is like this really beautiful like lace, and then the top is beaded, and it looks absolutely stunning on Karen. But this is just a beautiful 90s piece. This would be perfect for prom. I mean, I think they're gonna do more springs, but like this is a beautiful formal evening wear piece, and I was just blown away by the fact that I was able to get this. So again, that's everything. I'm so sad that I wasn't able to save more, but I'm really excited with what I was able to pick up for $50, and the fact that I've already got half my money back. By the time I'm filming this, this was worth it. And if you haven't seen the other video, I'll make sure to link it over here, I think. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, bye! Bye.